From barbecue servers, seven-figure agency builder, how Ashton DeLangoLunday is changing the sales game with psychology, systems, and AI.
Agent Podcast.
We're your host, David and Elle Denning.
What happens when a millennial couple dives headfirst into the insurance world, scales $1 million remote business, and decides to share the journey with the world?
You get the modern insurance agent.
Here, we reveal the messy, magical, and sometimes hilarious realities of building a business and a life you love.
From traveling the globe to building remote teams. Yes, even working remotely on top of a mountain in the Philippines. We're sharing insights, strategies, and plenty of laughs to help agents and entrepreneurs succeed.
Because, let's face it, success isn't just about hitting numbers.
It's about designing a life that works for you.
So let's dive in and build something extraordinary together.
Welcome back to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. Today's guest is the definition of rapid growth. Ashton DeLangoLunday is started with a background in pastoral ministry and restaurant work, and then built a seven-figure agency with Symmetry Financial Group in under 5 years. But first, before we dive in, you can get all the resources, all the show notes, all the goodies, everything we got put together for you, as well as how to connect with our guest at jumpstartgonow.com/podcast. Hop over there, grab everything. And as we dive in, he's known for high performance, high precision, and helping agents close more business with less pressure, using everything from psychology-based sales training, which I look forward to hopping into, to automating systems and our favorite, AI. So let's jump in with Ashton. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, man, thanks, David. It's so great to get to be here. It's been awesome to get to see you and Elle create this business and being able to really be a part of it pretty much from the beginning of getting my insurance license. So it's been really cool to be able to see that group grow and an honor to be able to get to be here. But, you know, my background is, like you said, I have a bachelor's in pastoral ministry. I was a server in a barbecue restaurant for 5.5 years. And I had a random email one day from ZipRecruiter that said, hey, here's a list of jobs that might be a good fit for you. The only one that had a 6-figure potential was this. And it said, hey, I could make what I was looking for full-time, part-time. So I said, you know, why not? Let's apply and see what happens. And the rest is kind of history.
I love it. From protecting souls to stomachs to protecting lives and financial futures, right? Like you've done it all. So, and no, I remember, you know, I feel like you've been in the Facebook group for like 6 years or so, like a long, long time, which has been fantastic. We're both in Florida now, so we've got to do some fun meetups. We'll see each other pretty soon at an event as well, which I'm excited about too. But it's been incredible to watch that growth and just your passion for the industry through those years too, which I'm sure not without its obstacles and some things to hop in and overcome, which I look forward to diving into, as well as, you know, if people haven't noticed, Ashton's not 50 or 60 years old. And so coming in this industry, noticing maybe there's some opportunities for changing and shifting and applying some modern around technology, which we'll talk about, but also young mindsets. And honestly, this industry, whether it's millennial, Gen Z, like there's so much opportunity for youth in this industry that I'm really excited about. Talk a little bit about that side too on there. So, so you went through a little bit of the background getting into the insurance side and saw the opportunity there. And was it just the kind of description that you saw the 6-figure opportunity from, or did you have anything else to go off of? Like, because most people aren't like, hey, I want to be, you know, a pastor, a pro ball player, or when I grow up, I want to do life insurance, right? So how did you like see that opportunity?
Really, it was just the ability to make that higher level of income. You know, for me, I always enjoyed the school fundraiser. I always loved being able to go door to door and knock on someone's door and make a bunch of sales. And I was number one every single year, and I enjoyed it. But you know, it's a little easier when you're a chubby Asian kid knocking on people's door. You know, they just feel bad, so they buy some stuff. So other than that, I had zero sales experience, but I always had fun doing that. I was always told, hey, I was really good at it. It was something I had a skill and a knack for. And so when I started looking at jobs, I said, well, why don't I find something, that I could maybe make a pretty decent income. I knew a lot of places where just because you have a degree, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a degree in, you know, building mechanical pencils or a degree in rocket science. Hey, it doesn't matter what it is, you get to be a manager. Because I had a lot of coworkers at other jobs that was the case when they left. They said, I'm going to this place just because I have a degree. It's an associate's and I can be a manager, even if I have zero prior experience. I said, maybe there's a job like that. And I said, well, what if we got a little crazier? And what if there was something I could just make a 6-figure income with my degree? So I started looking at those jobs and it was like, hey, FBI, 3 years of training. And I was like, that's a little much. CIA, all these different things. And then consistently the theme kept coming across of the only thing that was going to bring a 6-figure income, at least on all these job boards, was something in the realm of sales, whether that was cellular sales. I found a few newspaper companies to really just insurance or security systems. That was the other thing I found. So everything I looked at was just really some form of sales to get to that level of income that I was, potentially looking for.
I love it. And why I would have looked forward to Special Agent Ashton, which I feel like would have been pretty cool too. I'm so glad you chose this industry. And yeah. I remember selling wrapping paper for school for the fundraisers. I don't know how they trick these kids into doing this. Like, listen, sell thousands of dollars of wrapping paper, and we're going to give you this one toy that's like $5 at the store. It was genius, right? It was like, this is what's working for commissions, like when you're not getting what you should be getting on commissions, right? But I love that, right? I think I just once sold my neighbor my homework once. My mom made me go refund them, but whatever, that's, start sales at an early age. So I love that you saw the opportunity and like, hey, I see the income opportunity here. And I'm sure as you shifted into the industry and what you're building there, I think you saw probably the impact that you're doing for your insureds and clients through that too, as well as for your agents, which we're going to hop in. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things. This industry's lots of income impact, but also you're not selling wrapping papers or widgets. You're protecting lives at the same time. So it's pretty fulfilling, I would assume, on that side also.
Oh, absolutely. That was one of the biggest things that I loved for me was, my heart and passion is helping people, especially with my background. And when I saw an opportunity to be able to help people in a way where they truly, really needed it, it really got to check all those boxes. And not only that, but in an industry where a lot of times people don't do the right thing, where a lot of times there's a lot of unethical sales practices that go on to go, hey, I get to be that one opportunity that I get to come across those people and actually do what's right so they don't have to worry and their family doesn't have to worry, and actually have that opportunity to properly serve them and they don't have to worry, which was just an even added bonus in an industry where a lot of times that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, so important. I mean, at the end of the day, doing really, really important things here and getting to teach others how to do it too, which is where I want to dive in a little bit. Most agents and agencies, honestly, they struggle to get any momentum year one, or honestly, to stay in the business even after year one. How did you grow so successfully with your agency at the beginning, and kind of some mindsets and stuff in there, as well as let's talk about one of your recent agents too. I'd love to talk a little bit about his growth, as it's been incredible there as well.
I mean, the number one key in the beginning where a lot of people fail, it takes a level of activity, but paired with determination and persistence, because activity alone isn't the key. If you put in a lot of activity, you could just get burnt out in the beginning. If you're just going, hey, I'm going to do as much as I can for as long as I can, but then you don't have that determination that if you're not getting the results you're looking for in a short amount of time, then you're done. Well, it's the same result, even if you put in a very little activity or a lot of activity. And same with perseverance. But hey, you might be determined, but what if it lasts longer than a week? You didn't make a paycheck, or 2 weeks, or not even a paycheck, but the amount of income you were wanting / needing. Are you still sticking with it and doing what it takes to persevere, doing what it takes to learn, to get better, to train? Or are we quitting? So those are some of the really big keys in the beginning: activity, determination, and perseverance in order to be successful. Everyone has a different learning curve. For me in the beginning, where I work, we dial leads, we book appointments, we run the appointments. Now I started in person, then I went to Zoom, then I went to telephone. But if for me in the beginning, I had a great time dialing and booking appointments, but then I had no one show. Then my next problem was I couldn't get them to close. My first 2 weeks, I booked 34 appointments and didn't make a single sale. And I could easily go, and I don't remember how many showed out of it, but I just know I had 34 on the calendar and then I didn't make a single sale. And I could go, all right, hey, I didn't make $1 in 2 weeks. Now it's time to quit. But I saw the opportunity and I said, other people are succeeding. Other people are successful. It has to be me. There's something I'm not getting. Not, oh, woe is me. Not, oh my goodness, I'm horrible. I'll never be. It's not that. But I said, other people have success in this. What am I missing? What am I not doing the right way so I can tweak it in order to have that similar result? And having that determination to figure it out is what helps a lot of people be successful. So in the beginning, making sure that I have my expectations set properly, that I might not be great in the beginning. Some people are. Other people, it takes a few weeks. It takes a few months. Everyone's different. But if I stick with that determination, I'll be able to get to wherever I want to be. It's just a matter of how much effort I put in.
That's fantastic. And I think, I know we haven't got the psychology side yet, but I mean, I think a great example of like internal and external locus of control there, or like growth mindset and fixed mindset, right? Of like, what can I be doing differently? Or what do I need to adjust versus, well, obviously this industry is a scam, right? Or whatever, like, it's like, okay, well, obviously it's not, as people are very successful. So maybe it is me and what I can control and do. So I love that mindset, that focus, and absolutely key to that growth. And I'm sure that's, what you focus on with your own agents as far as,
Absolutely.
helping them with that, teaching and showing that as well. Although, you're right. I think some people, do just start off fast and are just kind of like almost born to this industry. It seems like. I'd love for you to tell me a little bit about one of your most recent agents and kind of what that's looked on that side. I mean, I think absolutely for 100% of agents, the growth mindset, what can I do, is absolutely key too, for no matter what obstacles or stuff's going to come up. And sometimes it's just like, man, like things are rocking. Like I'd love to hear a little bit about that growth.
Yeah. So we had a recent agent, Dylan, brand new with zero prior experience in the industry. Did some sales before this, but never did insurance. Came from a background of pro basketball. So he brought a level of work ethic to this that a lot of people don't bring. He treated this just like professional basketball. I have to get my reps in. I have to get my practice in. I film what I do. I watch my film back. I watch my practice back. What was off? What needs to be tweaked? And so when we took that level of exactness, of precision, to really fine tune this, we get a lot of really great results much quicker. And so for Dylan, in his first 2 weeks, he didn't have a lot of great success. Booked 40 appointments, only 8 people showed up. We had a 20% show rate. But when we track the numbers, we know, what do we need to focus on? He was really great at booking appointments. It was like me in the beginning. He was able to call everyone, talk to a bunch. I think he talked to like 60, 70 people, booked 40 appointments. Very, very high conversion rate on 2-year-old leads of booking 40 appointments in 2 weeks. Well, that's a lot when you're dealing with that age of lead.
Yeah.
But then no one was showing. So I said, how do we fix that? Now that we know where the metrics off, we're able to fine tune it, role play it. And then we went from 20% show rate to then we got to a 52% show rate the next week. And then we got to 64. And now we sit at over a 90% show rate every week. We're able to fine tune that piece to get us to move along. And again, someone who has determination to go, hey, I'm not getting what I want. In these first 2 weeks, I did 5,000 in sales, and that's nowhere near the amount of income I need in order to do this full time. And he was putting in about 40, 50, 60 hours a week at that point in time. So in Dylan's first 6 weeks, we spent a lot of time together. He said, I want to do 100,000 as fast as possible, 100,000 in a month as fast as possible. So we spent every day from 7 a.m. Central, working, dialing, starting on the East Coast, and we'd finish at about 8 p.m. Central. Then we'd get together and we would role play from 8 to 8:30 until about midnight to 1 in the morning. So we would work for 12 to 13 hours. Then we would practice for 4 to 5 hours a night. And then we'd be back at it at 7 in the morning. He was practicing 4 to 5 hours a day. He was putting in 18 hours a day for 6 weeks. That's 650 hours. In 6 weeks, if you worked a normal 40-hour work week, he put in 4 months of work in 6 weeks, in a month and a half. And he was able to skyrocket his success. Starting that third week, he started having 10K plus weeks. Weeks 3 through 7 was able to go out there and do 50,000 in his first full month. He started in the middle of June. The month of July was able to go do 50,000 weeks, 3 through 6. Then his second full month, weeks 7 through 11, which was August of last year, was able to go out and break the company record and do 179,000 in his second full month in insurance. And in his first 10 weeks, did over 225,000 in his first 8 weeks. But it was a level of determination and activity of outworking everyone else, following the exact coaching and mentorship and training that was provided in order to get there, where we role played and said, hey, this question wasn't good enough. Here's how we need to tweak it. We didn't ask it the right way. Ask it like this. Here's how to get someone to open up more in the appointment. If you ask a vague question, we're going to get vague answers. We need to ask great open-ended questions to help the client open up and get them to sell to you, not the other way around. And when we started fine-tuning that process, the results started skyrocketing, that he now averaged over 100,000 a month for the last year. Today, June 18th, is the 1 year mark for him, and he's already done over 1.3 million by himself, not with a team. He has a team as well, but by himself, he's done over 1.3 million in annual premium volume on his own pen. And to date, incredible. He's only had about 5 or 6 cases that was over 7,000 in sales. He's averaged over 130 applications a month. It's not we're writing a few big policies, we're writing friends and family. He's only ever written about 3 to 4 people he's known. Himself, his wife, mom, and grandma. I don't think he's actually written anyone else that he's actually known.
It's incredible.
And it's just going out there, working leads and working the system.
And yeah, and that level of activity, right? So a little bit different than agents like, listen, I dialed 10 times. I tried, I gave it my best, right? So that level of activity, I think that's why a lot of, athletes transition very well to, listen, I'm used to the grind and put in the work and pushing through the pain. Like I can do that here too. Right. So I love that. And that's so incredible and just getting started. So I really look forward to what that brings. I'm sure you're excited on that side as well as I'm sure he is as well. So I look forward to him getting to share his story a lot for this industry too. Might have to reach out, see about having him on here if he's got any time, absolutely. Though. Honestly, he's pretty busy writing stuff, so I might have to get on the list at some point to have him on here. But that's such an incredible growth and story that I think a lot of impactful things for him to share too from his experience. That would be great. And hearing a little bit about those late night calls with you from that side too, I think would be fantastic. Yeah. So talking about some of the stuff that, hey, you're always looking out for your agents, what you want to put in place, areas of improvement. I think you've talked about that a lot of like refining things, right? And that being a part of that. So you've developed a texting systems that's helped your agents skyrocket additional production. Can you walk us a little bit through that, what that's looked like?
Yeah. One of the things that we realized that hinders a lot of agents is getting in front of clients. That's obviously the only way we're going to make sales is sitting down in front of clients, whether that's physically, virtually, on a telephone, whatever that case is, we have to be in front of a client. So we utilize a texting system. We built campaigns that got really great responses. We're able to start putting through aged leads that were extremely old, a bunch of age data that agents don't like calling through anyways. Agents typically like calling through the newer leads, but we put together all this age data and we would text them. And it got a lot of attention. We're getting a lot of responses every single time we're sending out these leads, to now where agents are able to spend $200, $300, $400 on leads, and we're able to start booking 15, 20, 30 appointments a week, all via text. Being able to take out the dial time, being able to text leads, get them on the calendar, and have a bunch of appointments to be able to just sit there and run. And so that was something that was huge. We're now our average agent, when they're starting to use that system, we're averaging about 20K, 25K a month per agent that's utilizing that system, texting and booking appointments, and they're able to go out there and close, about 5 to 6K a week. And like you said, you guys love AI. Now we started pairing that with utilizing AI, because we said, hey, a lot of these messages, it's very cut and dry responses. We're using snippets. We said, hey, here, every time they say this is the response we're doing. Here's the snippet. Okay, great. Now we're getting them to book. Well, what if we just utilized AI to do that? Now we can throw through more leads. Now we can have more appointments. Now I can just sit here and my calendar is on autopilot for the week, and I'm just getting my calendar filled with a bunch of appointments that AI is booking. And when the AI doesn't know how to respond, we get notified, and we're jumping right into that conversation and taking it over, so that way we can still get it booked.
I love that focus on, yes, we have systems and processes, but we're always looking to adapt and improve around that, and we're not afraid to put those things in place, right? There's a process. Yes, you can smile, dial, you can call those leads, but is there a way I can improve this to get even better responses, better results, and also even improve the experience or efficiency essentially behind that, and putting that in place, and also realizing buying habits and kind of communication habits kind of over generations and time change too. Millennial Gen Zs, I don't know, sometimes don't even answer the phones for their own friends, but they'll answer text, right? So I love hey, we realize systems and processes are key, and we have ours, but we've improved this now.
Yeah.
We can get better results through that as well. So I love that. Now if system ties this, and how can we improve this some more, right? And we can now leverage AI. So at some point, people are just going to think insurance, and all of a sudden they're going to have a policy in place right away, right? So I think that's ultimately where Ashton is going to get optimized to, right? So speaking of then, how do you think these kinds of tech-driven workflows, AI, and how is that going to evolve over the next year or so? Do you see kind of shifts and change with the way the industry is, the way Symmetry is, your agency is, and how your agents are communicating, as well as just consumers overall with the tech side growing?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that we've seen, where we went really, really quick into the AI revolution, where we tried to put everything straight to AI, remove everyone, and we had these very, very digital agencies that it's hey, we have no physical agents, just underwriters, and here's a bunch of AI reaching out, writing them things, getting things done. I think until the point to where we get to every single phone call that is an AI call, we can't tell whether it's a human being or an AI. Until we get to that point, at least, there's no way that AI is going to be able to replace an agent. The agent is always going to be, for now, the forefront of being able to make that connection, overcome those objections, and make that sale and service that. So where AI really helps is empowering the agent to be able to get in touch and in front of more people, to where we have things like this, where there's a bunch of requests, especially older data, where we can utilize AI to go in there at a fraction of what it's going to cost for us to get someone to dial through it and get them on the line, to get in touch and revitalize aged leads. That's something that I think is going to be extremely vital and crucial of being able to drive more volume at a lower cost for brokerages. So that's something where we see a lot of things moving more that way. Here's AI reaching out, dripping text, email, etc., until we're able to get them in front of a live agent. And we see it more like a personal or executive assistant helping you than taking everything over. Even on the builder side, where you're running an organization where, hey, I have AI that's helping me organize and make my calendar efficient in order to slot everything in the way I need it. And that's kind of how we see AI right now.
I love it because, I mean, sales isn't just numbers. It's not just like, well, you have a problem, here's a solution, buy it, right? You know that,
Yeah.
right? And we're actually about to dive into a little bit around that. And so the things that AI, yeah, it can learn, it can feed back information or a solution to a scenario. The stuff that AI is not good at and probably will take quite a while to develop, or maybe even never, like the ability to build that rapport, that trust, that human factor, right? That is so crucial to sales, right? Like, and that's where, yeah, that can help with some nurture, getting them even more warmed up for the agent that they ultimately get connected to, or great uses for it, like pre appointment, right? But like I said, like AI, it's not human. It's not like, oh, I'm able to like make that connection, and that is a key part, right? So you're deep into sales psychology and EPQ. Like, how has that changed the way you sell? And like we said, like stuff that AI is not going to be able to replace a human in these aspects. And so, can you talk a little bit about the psychology behind some of the sales?
Yeah. And that's huge. Being able to utilize great scripting mixed with tonality is going to eliminate the resistance in just about anything we do. And that's the number one thing we've been seeing, where we can actually make someone so much more efficient by utilizing proper training. So utilizing things where it is focused on, hey, what are some questions that are based in human psychology to help eliminate the resistance in those phone calls in order to make that process easier. And so that's what we've written so many scripts on, in order to be able to go, here's how an agent who has zero training in something like this, we can give them a script. They're going to be good enough really without any training to be able to go through and have a much better result. But then we pair that with actual training from people who have done it and are experts and pros in it. And now those results are drastically changing agents' results. We had an agent even just yesterday. Last week, they went out, had about 50 contacts, talked to 50 people. They only booked 2 appointments. We trained with them yesterday, trained them for about 10 minutes. Yesterday, they worked all day. They came in today and we said, hey, how did it go? Well, they talked to 9 people yesterday and they booked 5 appointments. They almost tripled their appointments after working on utilizing psychology to make the phone call way more efficient for 10 minutes. And those are the things we see that can really just jumpstart an agent and really get them going by utilizing proper scripting. Then that same principle goes into the appointment. When I utilize psychology to help a client open up, even the most difficult ones, I'm actually able to dig through and help that client in a way that I wouldn't have been able to before. If we get to the end and all we get is, I want to think about it, let me go talk to someone about it, let me go talk to the cat about it, pray with my turtle, ask the hobo at the end of the road. If that's all we get to at the end of the appointment, then we're not doing anything. That client's still in that same position. They still don't have help. They still don't have what they need. And they're no better off than when they were before they met us. So being able to actually move all the way through, have that client open up and go, hey, here's exactly why I need the help. Here's where I am. Here's why I was looking for it. And here's everything about why we want to move forward, and asking those great questions. It's able to help agents remove all that resistance in the appointment. All the just give me the numbers. Well, how much is it? Just cut to the chase already. Well, it's eliminating that, and it's not this big sales presentation where the client's starting to feel, hey, they're pressured, they're cornered. And it's allowing it to alleviate that pressure and feel like a nice conversation with someone, which allows you to make way more sales.
I love that. And such a key aspect, because it's not the hard sell, the pressure sell, right? It's ultimately it ends up coming across, even though it's still a lot of psychology, a lot of work behind it, of being human and helping them solve their needs, right? And that's where the trust comes in for sure. So I love it. So you're always looking forward. You're always looking to improve the systems and what you put in place. We already talked about texting. We talked about psychology. We talked about, excited about some of the AI side. What are you most excited about over the next 6 months, the second half of this year, that you're kind of already thinking about, are excited, either to test more, put it in place, or just about your agency in general?
Yeah, I think the number one thing for us is we're so excited about our growth. We've over 10x'd within the last 12 months.
Nice.
So seeing the growth of where we're going, the trajectory, the amount of new agents that we have coming into the agency, and being able to help give them a level of training that they've never had before to be able to go out there and execute and get results that they've always wanted. That's something to us that's just been absolutely so fun to really do, to help so many other people truly accomplish the level of income and freedom that they've always wanted. So that's something about the agency we've just been so excited about. In the industry as a general, I think one of the coolest things we're seeing right now is so many products moving to such a quicker underwriting time. So many products coming out right now where it's a instant issue, instant decision product.
Mm-hmm.
And not just on a simple term, simple whole life, simple final expense side, but even these more complicated products where companies are coming out now with a instant issue par whole life, where that cash value side is hardly changing or being affected in how the cash value is generating, which is drastically unheard of before this product, where there's companies that are coming out with instant issue IULs on that same front. And so there's so many of these things that are coming through that are so instantly done that helps the sales process, because now when it's instant and the client's not sitting there waiting, or there's this requirement, that requirement, hold on, the insurance company had this question. You come back a week later. Oh, sorry, they have another question. Then they have another. And you got to keep coming back. It deteriorates that level of trust. And now we're potentially losing a client because the process took too long and they got irritated. So it's helping preserve that sale. So those are things in the industry that it's so exciting to see after being in it now for 5 years to go. So many things are changing and changing for the better, and changing to help the client and help the agent.
I love that. I mean, it's a better experience overall for everybody as that's faster, right? That, when I want something, I want it now. I think most people do, right? So client going through everything that you need them to, and all of a sudden, yes, the policy's in place. You're protected. You have, this is done. The agent, like, I don't have to wait for a month for this to go through underwriting before this comes through. So, faster, or even on commission side. And then, the carrier itself, cool. The policy's in place, done. I can reduce staff. I can be more profitable too. All kinds of stuff. So I'm really excited to also see what that looks like on that side as well. So I feel like it's almost like we're just getting started. So we're definitely going to have you back. I really appreciate on that time. So one final question: if you had to train a brand new agent from scratch, what's the first thing you teach them? What's the first thing off the top of your head that'd be like, okay, this is important?
Number one thing is going to be activity and practice. It's not just going out there and putting in a bunch of activity, but setting aside time every single day, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever we can, to practice it outside of the implementation. That is going to skyrocket your results. If the only time you're saying your phone script, your appointment script, is when you're actually doing it, when you're calling a client, running an appointment, the amount of time it's going to take you to get to the level of excellence you want is always going to be drastically longer than what you were expecting. So if you can truly get that practice in every day, it's going to cut down that learning curve drastically, and you'll be able to have much bigger results much quicker.
I love that. And you don't know what you don't know, right? So that's why important to have that mentor, that person that can point that out during practice, right? Just like a coach, right? So
Yeah.
I love that, Ashton. Guys, thank you, Ashton, so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it. We look forward to having you back. And for everybody listening, make sure to go to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast to get the show notes, all the goodies, and where to connect with Ashton, which, by the way, Ashton, if they do want to connect, follow you, plug into what you're doing, where's the best place for them to do that?
Yeah, Facebook is the best place to be able to reach me, connect with me. You'll be able to find everything on my Facebook. The podcast we do, the How to Sell Insurance podcast, you'll be able to see all that stuff right on Facebook. That's typically the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Awesome, guys. Well, go connect. And thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.